Hello, my name is Jbear, and welcome back. This is episode 9 of my creative series, where I go around on a creative server that I play on with friends and show you some of the things that we've built together. And I'm standing over near the suburbs, which is kind of the area of our main town area. And we have this empty area where there's nothing. We do have plans for further expansion over into this area. And eventually that road is going to come through here. And oops, let's go over this way. And it's going to connect to this road here, which this one is kind of unfinished. As you can see, it's just the road surface. There's nothing much to it. But we have this area over here. This area is like a little commercial area. We have a bank, a bus terminal, a restaurant, a gas station, a donut shop, coffee shop, and a parking garage. All of these buildings here were copied from someplace else in our town, and some colors changed. Some of them kept exactly the same. The parking deck was made smaller because the one we had was way too big to put in this area. And we also have this little area here with a ticket booth and a boat launch to take you over across the river. We'll get to there in just a second. The idea here is that this is kind of a little commercial area leading into our amusement park area. And that's where we're going to go today. And so you can come in here and park your car, or you can walk here, you can take the bus, and you can walk around this pathway that goes around the parking garage. You know how when you get to an amusement park, there's always these long walkways from the parking area that you have to go along to get in, and you just follow this over. And we will get there in a few minutes. I have something to show you here, and it's just now loading in. This is my massive color tree. I built this. This was my quarantine build back in 2020 when everybody was stuck at home all the time. I built this giant tree. Let's see if we can get the full thing to load in here. It is very, very big. I think we got it fully loaded. It's just some of the ground down there is not loaded. I originally had tried to put this in our arts district, but it was way too big. This took me probably around 20 to 25 hours to build. Of course, using World Edit for most of it and just trying to get the shape to look right. Organic builds are not that easy for me, so this one was quite a struggle for me to build. And let's go up inside the leaves up in here. All right, so if we find our way over to the very center of the tree canopy here, and we jump down inside, it is hollow. And there I am. So this is the inside of the color tree. It is hollow, and I am standing here inside. So now let's get out of here. All right, I'm back over on the pathway that leads into the amusement park. We'll take one last look at the color tree. This is one of my favorite builds. I think it turned out really cool. This, in addition to the Wizard Towers in Magic Town, are some of my favorite things that I've built. Now, those are favorite things that I've built on my own because I built that entirely by myself. I do have favorites that I have built together with my friends. And so this here, this is a little train station that somebody else built. This was already here and was part of the border rail system. So this rail that goes here is part of the border rails, and we kind of incorporated it into the amusement park. So this is just another way that you can come visit the amusement park. So we come down, the pathway gets wider, big grand entrance. We have kind of this little fairy tale castle here as the ticket booth, so you can walk up here and you can get your tickets. And we kind of chose 3 colors as our theme colors: red, yellow, and blue. And we'll see those all throughout the build. Like these towers, for example, we've got red, yellow, and blue. All of the lights, red, yellow, and blue. So if we come down here, come around, we got a big, huge flower here, kind of the fog effect down here for the water. Big, huge plaza area. And this here with all these little people, we were experimenting like, okay, how can we fill this place up with people, but without using armor stands, because armor stands are entities and using too many of them will cause lag. And so we tried various different things, and this is kind of just the results to our experiments, and we never cleaned this area up, and we probably should. So little plaza area here with some little shops and a big fountain in the middle. The boat, which we actually still need to build a boat. This is a work in progress. We are not done with this amusement park. The boat will bring you over here, and you can get your tickets to get into the park here. And we have a partial map of the park. This is not the entire park. And this might take multiple videos for me to show this entire thing because it is pretty big. So over here, we come down this way, there's this house. This whole area, this was entirely a swamp biome. And we changed it to make it look nicer for an amusement park. But this house was already here. And as you can see, the lily pads in the swamp area. So we left this in place. We did not take away somebody else's build. We just incorporated it into our amusement park. And so this is the founder's home. Wilson Smithers Winkelstein. Remember the Winkelsteins from the cemetery over in our town? So we kept this in place, untouched, just built a pathway that goes around it like this. So then we go over this direction, and it kind of takes us to the old area of the amusement park. You know how amusement parks like always have like an old-fashioned wooden roller coaster? That's what this is here. And if anybody plays on this server, you might recognize this. There was a contest almost a year ago, and the contest was apocalyptic in nature, and it was you build something that was some type of apocalypse. And I built an amusement park for the apocalypse, and it was all destroyed, and you know, everything was falling apart and dilapidated. I will show that eventually on one of my videos. In order to build it, what I did is I built a roller coaster, and then I destroyed it to make it look like it was part of an apocalypse. But I wanted to keep it, so I did copy it, and we incorporated it into our build here. So you got the long line that you have to stand in to get onto the roller coaster. We've got some benches and trash cans here for people to wait. So you can come up into here after waiting in the line down there, and there's still more line up here. And then you finally can get in here, and shoot off a rocket. And if we hop in the minecart, we can go for a ride on the roller coaster. So just your basic, typical wooden roller coaster. I used a reference photo of a real roller coaster to build this, and I'm pretty happy with how this one turned out. So let's get off of this. We got a little walkway that goes through the middle and a little pond, and then it just kind of stops because we have not developed this area over here. And then we have right over here, Carousel. All the little horses, and you got some benches that people can sit on. Places for people to sit over here, waiting for their kids to get off the carousel. And we still have a lot of space, like right here, still plenty of space. there is still so much room to build here. This is bumper cars. As much as you can make bumper cars in Minecraft, I think this turned out pretty good. This is, oh, I don't remember what this thing is called exactly, but you go in, there's stairs that you go up inside, and you come out the top of this tower, and this is a slide. So you can go down the slide, and it spirals down around the building down to the outside. And I cannot remember what this thing is called. It has a name, but it's an older thing. Like a lot of times you see these things in older amusement parks. Obviously, this is a Ferris wheel. Got your line out front. And you know, one thing we also want to do too is fill this out with little details. You know, little stands and people selling things and stuff like that all throughout the amusement park. And we got the little bucket seats that hang down. There's a bunch of them. They're all the same. But we kept, you know, if you notice the colors, the same color theme going on. The red, yellow, and blue. So let's go this way. We'll come across this bridge. Come over here. And we have a restaurant inside the park, because there are plenty of restaurants. And you notice what this restaurant is again? Same one. We copied it over here, changed the colors, and we have a restaurant inside of our amusement park. So this is like Grand Prix race cars. So it's got a giant one up on top. And we can come inside. And there's a long line. We got all these little go-kart Grand Prix cars. And we come out here and we can see, we can follow the track. There's some cars out here on the track. There's some grandstands here for people to watch their kids as they ride. Do not climb on the light poles. You might fall and die. Yeah. Because people could just jump right out. And there's some cows here for some reason. And sheep and pigs, I don't know. I guess they must have spawned over here. I think we might have put the cow in here. I don't know. And then here is like a little announcer's booth. And they're all just decorative things, of course, because it's just a themed racetrack is what this is meant to be. A couple little go-karts around, following the path around. And then it loops back down around here to the finish line. And there's a trophy. Big golden trophy right here. So that is the Grand Prix. And so let's go up here. You can see that there's this track right here. This is our monorail. And if we come over here, we can see there is a terminal here. So this is the border rail that comes right through our area, and you can get off here and you can get on the monorail, which will take you throughout the park. So if we follow this monorail track, we can see once again the colors, the pillars. Look at the colors. We got the red, yellow, and blue. And this monorail will take us over by the park entrance. And down over here to this area of the park. And we've got one of those giant swing things that lift you way up in the air. And you go swinging around way up in the sky, super high up. I don't ride those types of rides, though that's not my type of thing. And then over here, you got one of those drop things. It takes you up real high, then drops you, then lifts you up again, drops you again. Once again, another ride that I don't go on. Over here, we have an arena. And this is actually a copy of an arena from another one of my builds. But once again, all the colors changed. And I haven't shown that build yet. It is very incomplete. I will get to that eventually. But that is something that I will show. Because this is a jousting arena over at my other build. We'll get there someday. I will show that on one of these videos. But this is meant to be a place where they would have like animal shows. They would bring them in over here and bring them out into the arena, and people would sit in the stands and look at the animals in the show. And if we come back here, we can see a ramp that leads up to the monorail terminal. So this is a station here where you can get on the monorail. And this is just like a building that would be like a service building, just to kind of fill the area out a little bit, give it some little more detail. I think once again, this might be another one we copied from somewhere, maybe like our industrial area, and then just change the colors. And then the monorail goes over into a tunnel, and we will come back to this. We'll get back to this. So let's just keep following the monorail around. And the monorail is a good way to kind of see the whole park. So here, we're back behind the Wizard Towers, and this is another monorail terminal where you can get off and go over to this area of the park. Okay, so let's stop following the monorail. Let's go back to some of the things we skipped over. So I'm going to head over that way. Okay, so I'm back over here by the drop ride, and we see that right here we have a Space Needle. Pretty simple, you know, you just ride it up, goes up real high, spins around so you can see everything in the park, and then brings you back down. I will ride those because it's not a super fast, scary ride. It's my type of ride that's not going to make me feel like I'm going to throw up. And then we have a themed roller coaster here. This is called Gold Rush. So if we come in here, we can see there's a little mining village here. A bunch of little houses. There's a big house, which would be something like the boss that's in charge of the mining operation. And you know how like some theme parks, you go through the line and everything is very themed? That's what this is meant to be, is that as you're going through the line, there's a very themed area. So we come up here through the line, and then we come up the steps into this building here where there's more line to wait in, and we're just going to skip over the line because why should we have to wait in the line? And we have a minecart. So let's hop in that. Let's go for a ride here. So it comes up here, wraps around this area. It's like a kind of more of an old wooden roller coaster through this area, which is very much minecart or a mine shaft type of look to it. And that's kind of what we were going for here. This thing is a water tower. And then we start getting down into the mine. We fall down the mine shaft. And you can see all the ores and things, tunnels that go off in different directions, little bits of minecart track, gold all over the place because it's a gold mine. Let's go ahead and hop off here. And we got gold in a minecart, and you can see the tunnel goes off other directions. So we got a lot of gold in here because it's obviously called Gold Rush. And we got spider webs, and the minecart just stopped without us. So let's send that on its way. And there was this ravine here, and this was kind of the inspiration for this ride is that we saw this ravine and we thought, you know what can we do with that? Well, what if we did some type of roller coaster that went in here? And so we bring it up out. You can see there's a crane here lifting some of the materials up out of the ravine here. Let's get this minecart put away. Hold on. Let me do that and then I'll continue recording. Okay, the minecart has been put away. And so just outside of this big building here, which is supposed to be like a mining operation, you know, maybe this is their storage area or something. We have a little building down here and we've got a little wheelbarrow with gold in it, piles of gold ore and gold just sitting around. Little building here that maybe this is where the foreman works at and he orders all his workers around. They've got a crane here lifting gold up out of the ravine. Pile of logs over here. So this is a very, very themed ride because, you know, sometimes theme parks do like to have very, very themed roller coaster rides. Then this building over here that I skipped over before, we went with the castle-like theme, just like we have over at the entrance over here. We use the same type of tower here because it's very close to the wizard towers. You can see them in the background here. And this is one of those sky rides that you ride that kind of takes you up real high and you can see a lot from it. And this is like kind of a tourist attraction. Like you can come over here and you can look over at Magic Town and you can see the wizard battle that is happening. And it kind of fits in nicely. You know, we've got this mountain here that's separating the theme park from the wizard towers, from the magic battle that's going on. And this kind of ties the two of them together because we have these kind of fairy tale towers here that you can ride on the Skyride. And it'll take you over to this side of the park that we were at before. So also over here, kind of close to the mining area with the gold rush, we have a train. So you can come over here. We even have barricades so you don't get run over by the train. And you can come over here. You can come up the steps into another line because, you know, what is an amusement park without lots of lines, right? Mr. Villager working in the ticket booth. You come over here and you can get on the train. And you can take a train ride all around the park. And the way we built this, as well as the monorail, is you can actually ride a minecart. And you can take this for a ride. So let's see, I think there's a minecart back here someplace. There it is. So you ride through the train and you come out and you can take a tour around the park, just like riding around on the monorail. And as you can see, we still have lots and lots of open space all over the place. There is still so much room to build here. We are not even close to being done with this park. There's still so much more that we can do. We can see another monorail train there behind us. And I'm going to stop right here and get off. I think that will make its way back to the train. And we have this here, and I think this will have to be where I end this video because it's getting awfully long. We have drag and drop mini golf. And so here's the instructions on how to play the game. And we have, I think 9 holes is what we did. So this is hole number 1. And I think I currently am holding rockets. So yeah, there you go. So there's ice underneath of the carpet. So you throw your ball. You can pick any block you want as your ball. And then you walk to where it got to. You throw again, pressing Q. stops there, and throw one more time. And into the hole it goes. Then you pick up your ball, and you go over to the next course here. And we have like a pit here, so you get a penalty if it falls into the hole. And like if it falls down in there, then you have to go back. I think that's what we did. So going through this area might be a little bit more risky than going around, but it's a straight shot over to the hole. And then like up here, there's a hopper here. If your ball falls in lava, you get a 4-stroke penalty. But if you get it to go into the hopper, it dispenses. I guess I shouldn't be using rockets. Let's get something else here. There we go. It dispenses it out, and you're right down here next to the hole instead of going all the way around this way. And then like this one here, there's a cactus hazard. This one here, this one has castle. So we throw our item, and we try to get it through the castle here. Whoops. Let's see if I can get this. There we go. It goes through the castle and it comes out right by the hole. And if you're lucky, maybe it'll go in right away. And then we have this one here that you can go either direction to the hole that's hidden back here. We got this one here that's got a little bit of a mountain. And if your ball falls into the water here, it ends up going down and it comes up through the water and it comes right back out at the beginning. So you got to watch out that you don't accidentally get your ball into the water here. And it loops down around this way to the hole. And then we have a creeper with a bunch of TNT. It looks super dangerous, but you know, this is creative. So, you know, it is perfectly safe. But it's just an interesting hole here. So that is our miniature golf course right there. So that's all I have time for in this episode. There's still other things to see, as you can see in the background here behind me. And so that's it for this episode. And if you like this episode, please leave a like and a comment. And if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. I'll see you next time.